After Yume's mother, Yuni, wed Mizuto's father, Mineaki, they became step-siblings. It's awful that their parents are unaware of their middle school romance. Therefore, they make the decision that if one of them behaves like an ex-lover, they must acknowledge that they are the younger sibling. In an effort to antagonize the other person, Yume is tricked into using Mizuto's last name. At school, several boys pose as Mizuto's pals in an effort to win Yume over. Following Yume's clinging to Mizuto and accusations that she has a brother complex since her breasts accidentally touched his arm, the boys back off. She decides to sit next to him as payback and uses the simple fact that she is wearing a bath towel to get his attention. This comes close to working, but she goes too far, and Mizuto has to save her by holding onto her towel. Having failed, she tries to go, but trips and falls on the couch with him. They almost forget about their game in this situation and kiss, but their parents stop them. They both recognize that incidents like this are the cause of their diminished attraction for one another. Kagure Kawanami approaches Mizuto and declares that he will be his friend and will not use Mizuto as a means of access to Yume. Akatsuki Minami succeeds in sports during the fitness tests, and Yume overdoes it while attempting to keep up and passes out. However, Mizuto catches her. Yume begs Akatsuki to keep Yume's poor athletic abilities a secret, and the two end up becoming friends. Despite Akatsuki's suspicions that Mizuto was merely attempting to be polite, he irritates Yume. When Yume has a fever, Akatsuki is adamant about going to see her. Yume was about to say something embarrassing to Mizuto when Akatsuki caught her eye. Since Mizuto now lives with a stepsister, Akatsuki accurately surmises that he once had a girlfriend and worries if dating will be awkward. She also inquires as to whether he regards Yume as more than just a sister, but he objects. Yume won't sleep unless Mizuto holds her hand, which is something they used to do when they were dating if one of them was unwell. Mizuto pushes her to take her temperature again after making a number of requests of him, indicating she had recovered but pretended to be sick so he would be kind to her. She apologizes, and Mizuto accepts her forgiveness. Yume describes a 6-month-old flashback in which she describes how she formerly worshipped objects that Mizuto had given her. Yume sniffs Mizuto's boxers in the present and, in a fit of terror, drops them to the ground. She then asks herself, incredulously, why she did that. Yume chooses to return them as soon as possible out of concern that she'll revert to her former introverted nature and fear of what would happen if Mizuto found out. When the time is right, Yume slips out of her room to bring them back to Mizuto's, but she soon learns that he had intended to do the same with her bra. The two then play rock paper scissors to determine who will speak first at their impromptu family meeting, and Yume takes the lead. She argues that it wasn't her fault and that she had simply reverted to her more reclusive nature. Yume is then asked by Mizuto to clarify what she meant by saying, to which she humbly responds that she meant that she used to value the items he had given to her. Mizuto appears to blush upon hearing this, although he disputes the assertion. Mizuto claims that even if he told her the reason why, he thought she wouldn't accept it. After taking a shower, Mizuto noticed Yume's bra in the dryer. As he went to retrieve it, their father entered the room. Yume doesn't believe Mizuto, but she tells an uncannily identical tale about finding his boxers. After they have resolved their disagreement, Mizuto recommends they each give the other one demand, as long as it doesn't violate their respective societal mores. Yume agrees, which completes the transaction. Yume sees Mizuto at a wiki with D's, a young man on her way home from school, and assumes they are going on a date. The fact that the girl resembled Yume while they were dating only added to her annoyance. Yume questions Akatsuki about it the next day, and she views it as a significant occasion for Mizuto. Yume discovers an extra pair of shoes later that day and thinks they belong to the female she saw him with at the restaurant. As a result, Yume asks Mizuto to get her out so she can confront the girl she thinks is in his room. Yume runs to Mizuto's room as soon as she thinks it is safe to do so, but Mizuto leaves before she can even get there. They begin talking about the alleged presence of Yume, which prompts questions regarding Mizuto's alleged lewd behavior and the possibility that their home is haunted. Mizuto thinks in his room that the female he went to the restaurant with is somehow connected to the entire paranormal episode. The female Yume was actually Akatsuki, as revealed in a flashback, and she desires to marry Mizuto in order to become Yume's sister. Then Akatsuki lists all the private activities and experiences she wants to share with Yume when they are sisters. Akatsuki also follows Mizuto all day long, arriving at his house. Later, Mizuto asks Kaguya for his opinion about this when they speak. Kaguya describes to Mizuto Akatsuki's intense love for him and her desire to cling to the things she cherishes till Kaboom. When Akatsuki was in middle school, she had a partner to whom she was fiercely committed. This is an illustration of the Kaboom. In the end, she broke up with her boyfriend since it ruined his feelings for her. Kaguya proposes that Mizuto maintains his position with Akatsuki for the time being and doesn't back down from her. However, if she overwhelms him, they'll have to adopt a more direct strategy, which Mizuto would want right now. Kaguya advises Mizuto to tell Yume something and asks her to stop being interested in Akatsuki. Later, Mizuto comes to Yume's room to exact her punishment, making Yume go on a date with him for having her underpants. Subscribe to the channel for next part and more animerecaps.